For a little bit. All right. It says we're live. I don't know if we are, but hi. Hello. Welcome to the next Kate Daniels live show. And I've completely forgotten all of my intro stuff, so we're just going to go with it. Because as I was saying to Megan before, this has been one of those weeks. So Hi, welcome. Say hi in the chat if you're here. And of course, someone chooses to message me right as soon as I start a live show. They don't message me all day, and they do. All right.
I get it.
So, all right. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves and your channels for everyone, and then we can start talking about our books?
Sure. Hi, I'm Megan, or Meowth Vader, and I haven't posted a video in 6 weeks-ish, so hey, everybody.
It's okay. You just hang out here with me. That's great.
Yep.
Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes. Probably already know me, assuming you've read at least half of the Kate Daniels series just to show up in this live show. But I had a video yesterday, and we'll have a video tomorrow. So
I know. I spent last night trying to catch up on videos because I've not felt like watching much at all this week.
Oh, see, I don't even catch up. I'm just like, you know what? I don't care right now. Today, I'll watch tomorrow's videos if I get around to it.
Yep.
I did watch it. I got chills. I was like, oh my God. We were just going for it. It was brutal and tragic. Yep. I watched it. I have thoughts.
Taylor Swift. I can't relate.
No Taylor Swift thing.
It's your problem.
Okay.
I didn't say I didn't like Taylor Swift.
First of all, I'm appalled that you guys don't even understand the reference. That level of obliviousness is appalling. That's all I'm saying. Appalling.
Sorry, but yeah, no.
No, the only reason I know that the only reason I know Taylor Swift has anything new is because everyone I know is like, Taylor Swift, and I was like, something has happened.
Yeah, she re-released Red. And then All Too Well on the Red album is like the fandom's favorite song. So it's not like her most popular hit ever, but it's like the fandom song.
I know it's 10 minutes long now in this version.
The 10-minute version, which she had originally. Like, she didn't make that up or anything. She had the 10-minute version originally, and they shortened it down to the actual song length. And she didn't realize that there was like a recording or anything of the original 10-minute, and the person she was doing it with had it. And so then she went and redid it for the re-release. And I
do know the Red album, and I've listened to it a lot, but I don't actually remember that song. But that's because it's been a while. So I'll go and fix that, Heather.
I slept on it for the longest time. It's the bridge. The bridge will like cut you into pieces, and you're like, oh, okay. Yep.
I know the title song, Red.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean,
because Loving You is Red. Yep.
I don't care about Red all that much, to be honest with you.
That's the only one. If it was on the radio, that was the one I heard.
Yeah. I don't know. I have no words. Anyway, that's because I literally can't think of anything.
Everybody's artist, right? But like, her best songs are not on the radio. Like, her best songs are deep on the album.
Yeah,
that's fine.
It's always the way. All right, should we start talking about our books?
We should.
Yes, I spent the past 2 days reading through like 4 books because I forgot that this existed.
Did you learn your lesson? That's what I want to know. Because
I currently am just like, man, I hate Kate Daniels. I don't hate it. I'll be fine in like a week, but like I now need a Kate Daniels break, and then I can go back.
That's literally why.
Yes, but only take a week, because otherwise you'll be in the same situation.
Yeah. Because I will. If it's a to-do, I will dread it. And I'm like, I don't want to do that. So I make sure I don't have to cram it at the end. And I try and make sure I've spaced it out where, like, if I go basically an entire week between reading installments, it's no big deal. That's my strategy.
No, that's fair. I just went down a weird cozy mystery rabbit hole and have probably read like 30 plus cozy mysteries. So
at least you're reading.
Yeah,
that's all we need out of life.
Yeah.
What about you, Steph? Right. What's your strategy? Because I know normally you read literally all of them back to back.
I know it's been really hard to actually not read them back to back. I did spread them out. I spread them out over probably 3 weeks, but it's also been very manic over here. Mm-hmm. So me picking up things, like in a lot of ways, I've been saving them for when I've had a moment to enjoy them, because everything else I'm just kind of like, I just need to read something, but I'm not in a good mood. So I sort of saved them for weekends and things so that I could enjoy them.
I'll be back. Continue without me.
Oh, good. Yeah, Gunmetal Magic was my reward this week.
Yeah, I hadn't read that one yet, so that was fun.
Yeah. If you are in the chat, let us know if you have read them. So we should start talking about this one, Magic Slayers, which is the one where I forget that just gets to the end and decides to punch out your heart.
Oh yeah, no, I forgot to. And then when they were like, Julie's coming back, I was like, no, this is the one.
Yeah. No, I remembered that it was in like this part of the series, but I always forget which particular book it's in. Yeah, so by the way, everyone, spoilers. I'm glad that they're spaced out. That's good. Good strategy. Because I think I worked out there was something in here. So this is like 9 months from the second book in the series. So like that sort of in my head sorted out some of the timeline. And I liked that we sort of get to see Kate setting up cutting edge investigations and it not working so well. Because sometimes I feel like in series, everything just starts working perfectly and she's like, no, we've got no clients.
Right. We have been blacklisted from so many things.
And just that whole opening sequence with the vampire and the standoff with everyone. I'm like, yep, this is for a very short book. This one actually, a lot of things happen straight off the bat, which I liked.
Yeah.
All right. So what else? I'm trying to think.
So this book has like it's the saddest book, but it also has one of my favorite scenes in like the whole series.
That's not the saddest book. Derek's is the saddest.
No, this one, the fact that like Julie, I couldn't like. At least Derek lived. Julie almost died.
You're wrong.
Daniel died. Okay. That was so sad. I felt so bad. I was like, no.
I do feel bad about that one. I do.
Well, Daniel
I think it's the romance reader in us. We're like, no, mates, like the mate doesn't get killed. You live happily ever after.
Yeah.
Well, I think also because we know that Jennifer has been through so much in the previous book.
Right.
And her finding out that she's pregnant and then losing her mate. So even though she annoys the hell out of me a lot of the time, like I understand why she reacts the way she does.
Your perspective is not to care about her at all. Like you're not, you don't have the reader, right, doesn't have a personal relationship with her. We just kind of see her at her worst for all intents and purposes. Yeah. And you're still like, oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like everything at once.
Yeah. So that one I was just like, oh, but it still has one of my favorites, which is the Curran destroying the car park set to Kissed by a Rose. And I just like every time I'm like, it's so great. It's so great that they had it twice. It's so great it was there twice. It was there when she first thought it was Simon, and then it was there again when Kate was like, let's watch a movie, darling.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh gosh.
I had completely forgotten. Okay. So in this book, I think Curran calls her, right? I have it on my phone. Let me look. But I think Curran calls her baby cakes. And I knew that I had gotten that from something. And I remember it started out as like a joke. And I would like say it to my husband, like in the middle of the grocery store and stuff. But now it's just like a part of my vocabulary. I use it all the time for like everybody. and I couldn't remember like what I got it from. Yeah, Current said it, and I think it was from this book.
Yeah, because
It
her response is
so
sugar
much
wilgums.
when I saw it again.
Yeah, because her response is sugar wilgums, and I think that's the greatest.
Well, just them trying to navigate their relationship and how they work together and how they behave in front of other people as well is really interesting and funny to watch or funny to read about in the book.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
do
kind of agree.
Series, I feel like.
Yeah,
and that's what I was going to say. I think this comes up more often. Although I do like that when they, I mean, the big sort of mystery plot in this one is that Kate gets hired to hunt down this thing that causes magic to disappear and whatnot, and it all ends up with all of the major players in Atlanta ending up in this room. But my favorite scene is the witches and the voles and the fact that they're a family.
Yes.
And that they're just it's like the worst family,
like a marital dispute where they're like name calling
and the kids
each other.
And the kids are just behind there going, "Oh my god,
yes.
what are you doing?"
I do love that, like, and then it was so great because it wasn't even like, oh, well, you're the worst and like magic. It's like, and your son was a doctor and the daughter was a teacher. And what's your youngest? A psychopath. So good. He's a musician. He's insane. I love this so much.
They're a fun group of characters, and like, and I'll talk about it more when we talk about Gunmetal Magic because I really love Roman.
Oh yeah,
I love
he's great.
The intro that we get to him in this, and the fact that he puts on an accent when he's doing the job, and it just brings me so much delight because he's a great character even throughout the series. Like when we get to later in the series. And you haven't read it yet, Megan, so I won't talk about it. But there's just a role he plays in the book that I find absolutely delightful.
I don't know if I can even remember exactly what you're talking about.
I'll tell you afterwards.
My brain needs jogged. Can't just pull things out thin air. It's got to have context clues.
I know, but if I say it spoils things later on. So I can't really do it. And Ascanio. Is it Ascanio? I can't remember.
Ascanio.
Oh.
He's a delight too.
Ascanio is great. Yes. I like
pain, but
I like his
exactly
first scene
what he should be.
His first scene with Julie is great. Like Kate's just watching from upstairs, like, oh, let's see how this plays out. And she's like, yeah, exactly how I taught you. You get him, girl. I was like, this is wonderful.
The secondhand embarrassment for me is very real. Just like, dude, you had one job. And then your boss and Alpha and all the things watched you disobey the one job for a girl who didn't even play into your game. Like, you struck out. And I'm just over here like, oh, the cringe factor is very strong.
It was so great. Just Julie too. Like she saw right through it, and he was just like an angel, and she was just like, seriously,
that's because Julie loves Derek, and Derek is more than
Julie is also like so much like Kate. Like
it's the trauma.
It's the trauma.
I think that's like I'm never a huge fan of books that have lots of characters who are always in the same scene because I find it sometimes, particularly if you have a main character that you're trying to follow, sometimes I find it detracts. But like this series, like all of these characters who just pop in and out constantly and just make up the sort of the main web of the story.
Yeah.
I love them because you've got Julie, you've got Ascanio, you've got Derek, and then and Kate and Andrea and Karen, and that's sort of the core group. And then you kind of add Raphael in as well in some plots, and Jim, and you just build it out like that. And I'm like,
I agree.
Like it's never hard to keep track of who's who and what's doing what, which I find amazing because a lot of times I'm like, I don't care about these characters.
It's not very info dumpy either. They have they do a really good job of spending like one or two sentences kind of reminding you of who this person is so that you don't get confused without it being like, oh, here is the 3 pages of why we know this person every single time.
And they always have a point for being in a scene.
Mhm.
Like there's always a purpose for them being there, aside from
Yeah.
just being there to flesh out the world.
Right.
But yes,
I agree.
so this one also, I'm just trying to think what else this one introduced. So it introduced the Volve more.
Yes.
So we'd met the witches before it introduced the Volve.
We learned that Baba Yaga, the witch oracle, is related to Kate.
Yeah. Yes,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And we learned a lot more about Kate's mom because we really didn't know anything about her per se.
Yeah, we had like this idealization of her mother, and then they were like, "No, that's not your mom. That's not who your mom was at all."
Right.
Yeah. Well, even just the fact that, you know, with that idealization of Kate's mum, her, like the shock of her finding out that what her mum did in order to keep her child safe,
and finding out that one of the parental figures that loved you didn't actually love you, was basically there under compulsion, and ultimately didn't care what the end result of your life was. That was a lot. That was a big reveal.
Yeah.
Like that was huge, because and it sort of, like, in a lot of ways it sort of gets Kate to start rethinking a lot of things about her life and her relationships with other people.
I did like the fancy dinner talk that she and Curran had, like, following that, because the witch oracle, whose name I keep forgetting, was like, he's not with you because he loves you. He's with you because of like power.
Right. Yeah. I remember the first time I read that, I was like, oh, here we go. We're going to push him away. We're going to have a dramatic breakup. And then it's going to be like, no, I've always loved you. But that's not what happened. They actually did talk to each other. And that was one of the things I liked about this book, is they are firmly a couple. So yes, there are going to be things that maybe even are there for the plot, right? Conflicts that are there for the plot, but ultimately it's not, we break up, you call me, I love you. It's, no, we're a couple, we're gonna talk about it.
But I love that when she was like, she like approached the topic, he wasn't like, his first thing to be like, we can just run away, and she was like, I'm sorry, what? Like, she was like, this is not where I thought this conversation was going.
We're just reminded again of how fed up he was by their bullshit response when he was in a coma.
Yeah. I do love that he was just like, no, I'll leave. I don't care. Like, they've betrayed me, and I'm just here because it's convenient. Yeah, he's like, when it's no longer convenient, I will no longer be here.
Yeah. I quite like that as a work ethic, just to see that as well. But yeah. No, what else? Just in terms of, you know, you always have a lot of characters who are like, no, I need to do this because this is what I've always done, or this is what I'm good at. And
right.
And I think it's healthy to see that, you know what, I've done my bit. Like, I'm happy, but I don't have to do it.
Well, and to me, this makes so much sense. I don't understand when people or characters don't do this. Like, yeah, you thought that the pack would be safety for your family. That was your primary motivator for creating the pack in the first place. So now when you're finding out that the mate that you want, that is going to be your family, you're not changing your mind about that, isn't going to be protected by the pack, then you should adjust your expectations with the incoming information and, you know, adjust your plans accordingly. And when people are like, no, I've been working for this for 10 years. I'm like, yeah, but the person you are now is not who 10 years ago you thought you would be. And it's not serving you at all. Drives me up the wall. I cannot do it. Why we hold on to things because 12-year-old us was like, no, this is a great life plan. It's dumb. I cannot. So good point. I like that he didn't do that.
Yeah.
Although the scenes with the petitions in the pack.
Yes.
I love that Kate.
They always make me laugh.
I loved that Kate smackdown so much.
Yeah. Oh, shoot. It was so good.
It was.
It was so good.
Those are my favorite.
Because we get the introduction to Georgina, who is Mahan's daughter.
Yes.
Who's in the next book, I think.
Yes, George, I think, is in the next book.
His next book is Europe, right?
Oh, I hate the next book. I'm going to be yelling at y'all the whole time I read it because I hate the next book.
And then you're going to continue the series and it's all going to be okay-ish.
Yeah. But see, I love it. I love the next book. But I love it because it makes me angry at times.
Yeah, no, the next book makes me so angry. No.
I like the next book too. I'm ready because I still, this one, I remember like my emotional, visceral reaction to it.
Yeah.
To like several things in it. And I'm ready to see it again.
Yeah. And because I think, in a lot of ways, what happens to Julie in this book, like, I mean, in terms of plot and the reason why they need to go to Europe, it lays all of that foundation down. But I think it also lays the emotional groundwork for all the character development and the relationship stuff in the next book as well, because they're all kind of like they're desperate for.
You mean
that
just
panacea.
Many of them?
Yeah,
like not just Kate and Corinne or anything, but like the group as a whole.
But everyone. Yeah. It packs a bit of an emotional punch.
I'm pretty sure that's the last one I read because it was too much for me and I gave up after that. I got like 10 pages into the next book and was like, okay, I'm out.
Mistakes.
That's okay. Just message us while you're reading and yell at us.
I will.
Yeah, it is kind of it kind of throws you for a loop a little bit. Did I say that right? I am
you said it right.
Not functioning. But I feel like it ends okay. With like the curveballs, I feel like it ends okay. And then like the next book is not more of the same. Like literally you don't have anything kind of like this at all again in the rest of the series. So it's not like every book we're doing this exact same drama. It's not like that.
No, it's very different from this. See, when I was reading Magic Slays, there was something I picked up. It's about halfway through the book. And it's the conversation around Kate talking to Ascanio and him wanting to know if he can ever beat Derek in a fight. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because this time around reading it, having now read Blood Heir as well, with the relationship dynamics and how they end up at the end of the series, like, to me, I'm like, oh, we're doing some foreshadowing. I like this. This is great. Like, I don't know if they ever intended to write Blood Heir at the end of this series, but it's here anyway.
I don't know. They definitely are planners. Like they have a skill.
That's what I want to know.
I've never read Blood Heir, so I have no idea what's happening. So.
No.
I haven't read Blood Heir yet either, but
Well, Blood Heir is kind of like the second generation, so it's all of these.
It's all the younger
secondary
ones.
Characters, and like just seeing like. Rereading this now with that in my head as well is also an interesting layer on how their relationships develop amongst themselves, as well as minor character, well, not minor characters, side characters, I suppose. Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's just me being me, going, oh, this was interesting. I wonder if they plotted this ahead well in advance.
I like it.
I was interested by that.
I thought, yes.
I do like Corinne's description of Ascanio is young, dumb, and full of cum.
Yep. It's pretty much
if that is not a description of horny teenage boys who are not using their brain power. My dad always had this saying. He was like, boys don't have a brain until they're 21, and even then it's very small. It was like a thing he would say all the time. It's like, yeah, okay, Dad.
Now, is it in this one? It's got to be in this book that Ascanio's mum comes to talk to Kate.
Yeah,
feels because she's the pack psychologist or one of the pack psychologists.
Yeah, she talks to Kate in this one, and she talks to Andrea in the Gunmetal Magic.
The next one. That's why I'm getting confused. Mm-hmm. But I kind of liked that we got an explanation. It wasn't just left that he is this reckless kid who goes out and does whatever he feels like all the time. That there is a context for it, and that the people closest to him know that, and they want him to succeed, and they think Kate's going to be the best opportunity. I don't know, Kate being the best opportunity for that, but she is really good at navigating sort of those types of characters who need reeling in without actually stepping on their spirit, which I kind of like.
Because it is her, for all intents and purposes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, exactly.
You can't just intimidate her, right? You also have to have, especially I feel like young her, you had to have some sort of emotional connection as well in order for her to bother to listen to you. And she is very much she can't stand to see innocent people hurt, and so she will go to ridiculous lengths to try and prevent that.
Yeah. Another thing that I noticed, and this isn't so much to do with plot, is there's a conversation in this book around I'm just got to try and remember how to summarize it. So it sort of describes the world and how post shift with magic and non-magic, sort of how the hierarchy in this new world works. And it was interesting. So I was reading it, and the other connection that I was making was to their Hidden Legacy series, because there's a talk in here around how a character's future is almost determined by accident when they're born, whether they will have abilities to access the magic or not. Whereas, sort of in Hidden Legacies, it's your hierarchies. If you're born with magic, then that's set.
Yeah. They like literally breed to make magical children. Yeah.
And I thought it was interesting. I don't know why now I'm comparing everything at the moment, and in my head this is just like, it's really interesting to see it, because it's similar, but it's also a different take on a similar theme, and I like it. I like this idea that a lot of these characters don't know where they're going to fit into the world, based on their status. But anyway, that's my rambly thought that probably doesn't make any sense. Sorry, Heather.
No, you're good. I think another thing that this type of world always makes me think of is that it really depends on who you come up against, right? Let's say that you have a middle-of-the-road person. If they never come up against Curran or Kate or a god during a flare or whatever, then they can probably best whatever comes in their path. But it just depends literally on what you come up against, because the chances of being saved are unlikely.
Yeah, definitely. All right.
My one thing with the car bashing scene, when Simon was showing Kate the tape, and he was like, "I find your smile inappropriate." That's like one of my favorite lines.
I loved it. You set it to music. It needed a soundtrack.
It's like, if you know that it needed a soundtrack, you cannot be upset by someone responding in a particular way to that video.
I love Simon so much. He is still one of my favorite characters. He's just ridiculous. I think that's why. He's just a ridiculous person.
I do like him, but he's not one of my favorites. I think because I imagine having to try and herd him like a feral cat, like, no, we are not doing that. We're not doing that. And I have enough of that in my life already. I'm good.
Oh gosh, I've just remembered that scene where everyone's trying to break into his apartment and they're all hiding in his lab, and he just can't help himself.
What did he do? You're gonna have to jog my memory.
I can't. Did he?
He shifted.
I can't remember. He shifted in this one. He
did shift. Because he was like, "Oh God, pain! Oh God, pain!" and he shifted, and then because I remember the scene where it was like the guy came in and expected to see 3 cowering people, and instead he saw an ice giant, a wolf, and my sword, or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
That's right.
Okay.
I just remember that something happened, and every time I read that, I'm like, and to me, like, they're in the dark, they can't see anything. There's people fighting them, and you've got this weird mix of people that they've come up against. I'm like, in a high-rise apartment building.
Yeah.
It's glorious.
Oh, the things that make me happy. I'm just trying to think, because we have the Lighthouse Keepers, so that little organization that's
do they
trying to get
show
rid of
up
magic
again?
That's what I was just wondering. I
One-off?
can't remember if they do.
I don't remember either, so maybe not.
Yeah.
I do feel like, well, there are definitely figures who weave throughout the series. Each book does kind of have its own foe, you know?
Yeah.
You don't really do a lot of repeats.
Oh!
Yeah.
So, speaking of, the Rakshasas got defeated in the last book. And in this book, they said that Nataraja, something happened to him. And I was like, "Oh, are those things connected?" Because I remember they said, like, Nataraja, like, loves Indian things.
She said she wouldn't be surprised if he was.
Yeah, and now Gastek,
actually,
and Gastek was like, he's like, he's gonna be gone soon. And I was like,
yeah.
I think
it's interesting. I don't remember if Nataraja turns up again in the series.
I feel like there's some short, although you would probably know better, I felt like there was some sort of showdown with him. Like, I thought we watched him die at some point. But maybe
if y'all did, I don't know.
Maybe, but because I remember, I think one time I read, and look, this could have been me not paying attention. Suddenly, it was almost like Gastek was in charge, and I'm like, hang on, how did that happen? So I'm wondering. I'm going to be interested to read the next couple of books, because I don't know if we do see him again.
Yeah, because that's why Gastek showed up at the final showdown in person, because he was just like,
he was the representative.
Because he was like, well, you see, Nataraja is weak. I think he said like he has been weakened and will be out soon, and I want to be the person on top now.
Right. There was definitely,
and so I was like,
games.
Yeah, so I was like, ooh, did like the Rakshasas and Nataraja have something?
It's a mystery.
Yeah, I'm gonna just put that little red string on my pinboard or something.
Now I'm just gonna have to pay attention in the next couple of books to see if he turns up. All right. Was there anything else we wanted to talk about Magic Slayers, or did we want to move into the novellas?
We can move on. I think. Heather?
Are we talking about Julie?
Yes. Oh, yes, Julie at the end of this one. We keep mentioning it, but we don't actually talk about it. So what are you thinking,
Julie
Heather?
didn't die.
She did not die.
Although that was a stressful couple of chapters.
That was a scene. And when I tell you, my exact reaction would have been Andrea's when she like smacked Aunt B. I absolutely would have been blaming her. Like, see, this is what happens when you play stupid little games. I had a job, I was supposed to guard them, and I wasn't. And like, I would have been livid. And I would probably have had trouble keeping my mouth shut. So I feel like I too would have gone smacked down some stairs.
I do like that Andrea was also like, this is the hand that smacked Aunt B. It's like, I'm never watching it again.
Yeah.
Kate, you want to touch it? No.
But at the same time, though, that frustrates me so much. Because I'm like, they had them on lockdown. Probably, one would assume, for a reason. Why would you do it? And not why would you not wait? Genuinely. Like, I cannot. I think it's just me reading too many books where I'm like, no, you idiot. They literally this drives me insane. It's the Too Dumb to Live girl, where she probably met her love interest because somebody was trying to kill her or something, right? And so she's been on lockdown, and then she has a fight with her love interest, and her plan is to go somewhere alone because she's tired of all these rules and being in his presence stuff. And then she gets kidnapped or whatever every single time within like 10 minutes of leaving the security. And it's like, no, duh. What did you think was going to happen? It drives me up the wall. If you were in lockdown, stay in lockdown. Yeah. That's the only way that it works.
I feel bad that the Bauta dude died, but also Kate was literally like, hey, someone's about to attack you. And he's just like, word, and then goes and takes a nap.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, I'm mad at all of them. But also, I feel like, because we're talking about the Buddha, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like his alpha didn't act like there was a threat.
Mm-hmm.
She took Andrea to lunch, and he was like,
that's frustrating. And it's even more frustrating because she knew they were on lockdown, and two of her pack or her clan were in there, and they've taken away the senior person.
Yeah,
because
it just makes me so angry. It genuinely does. Also, I'm like, no, the stupidity. This, you literally don't do this.
And like, I think the whole sequence, like, particularly for Doolittle as a character as well, like, he is livid with what happened. And like, because we know every time he sees Kate, he's like, why do you do this? Etc.
Yeah, right.
But this time, like, while I don't know if I can say the whole thing was completely
it was avoidable. Of course,
it was pretty avoidable.
It was pretty avoidable. Like, something still could have happened, but like the actual sequence of events leading up to what happened and the kids being attacked, like, that was avoidable. And that was pack politics,
right,
getting involved.
Right. Yeah, very frustrated by that one.
And I say that as, like, I love our B, but God, that was a stupid decision.
Right, exactly. And then we have the whole thing with the blood, which I know at least Mandy hasn't read yet, so I won't spoil too much. That's such an interesting scene with Kate, and also the fact that Curran's like, no, not doing this again. And it's interesting to me too, because kind of from this point on, I feel like in this series, you do have several different instances when Kate and Curran are like, no, if you do this thing again, or if you do it at all or whatever, we are done. That is an uncrossable line. But they don't ever break up. It's literally like,
there's an
I don't think there's a breakup.
Yeah. No, there's not a breakup. I think it shows that Curran understands why Kate did it, but he doesn't agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And it's now, and having seen the cost of it is, his hard line.
Yeah.
Right. But
in a lot of ways, like, as traumatic as it probably would have been, I like that he didn't stop her from doing it before she attempted it, because that probably would have been her hard line. My kid is now dead because I didn't do something that could have saved her life.
Yeah. But I think he said that, like, he was like, if I stop you from doing this, he's like, he knows. He's like, we're over. He's like, I know you won't, like, hold it against me, but, like, it'll like eat away at our relationship until like there's just no turning back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But even Kate walks away from the whole thing going, yeah,
that was freaky.
That was not the best experience of my life.
Yeah.
But it's just interesting to me that it does show up more times in the series, not this particular thing, but different things with both of them going both ways, where it's like, no, this is not.
Well, it's an adult relationship. Like, this is actually an adult relationship. They're learning as they go what they can and can't tolerate. And they talk about it. Like, the part about it is that they actually say, no, this doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. And it's an adult relationship, though, with magic and powers and leadership and hierarchy and literally life and death and, just a lot of issues that obviously most couples don't have, although all couples have issues all the time.
Yeah.
You have to deal with them.
I was going to say the other thing that starts in this book that picks up again later in the series is the stuff around the guild and the guild leadership, which I'd forgotten how early that started in the series as well. I thought it all took place sort of after the next set of books, but no,
yeah.
And just seeing
I couldn't remember
Kate
what
still
her solution
was,
so when I read it, it's like, oh yeah, that's what we're doing.
I remember the final solution, not this. Like I forgot where
exactly
what part of it took place, but I do like it because I think it Kate has never been one to sort of play the politics or the business games, and she's learning. And I think this is a big book where she learns how to do that because she's never really been a team player, or she's never had a team to be a team player with. So I do like that.
And a lot of stuff like that is training too. And she's never been trained in how to deal with people's disputes.
Yeah, I mean, she said herself, like, her most method of investigation is annoy them until they either kill you or give you your information.
Yes.
Oh, that needs to be on a t-shirt.
Yeah. So are we on magic gift? No, magic test?
Magic tests. Yeah. 5.3.
I feel like I read this before, even though I didn't have it marked as read.
I haven't read it before, and I liked it.
Felt familiar.
It's only super short.
It was short. I like it,
and I liked it a lot.
I do like it, and I think because it's, they've had so much trouble finding a place for Julie to have a school, to have friends outside of, like, Julie's almost attached herself to the Packers now, and Kate as her only sort of source of connection. So I kind of liked the sneaky way that they get her.
And she was onto them too, but she was like,
yeah, she was.
Am I just gonna turn away? No, you win this one.
I like it because she's such a smart teen character.
She is.
I really like her. I had completely forgotten. Like I said, I really feel like I read this story before, but I had not made the connection of the Dragon Boy to later in the series until I think I was watching like your weekly wrap up or something, and you were like, he shows up later in the series. I was like, oh yeah, okay.
I'm not sure if it's specifically him or someone he's related to.
I feel like it's him because I think it's him. Like because Julie knew him. She was like, no, I know that dude. So it makes sense.
Wasn't there another dragon that was in Magic Dreams as well?
Yeah, the one in the Chinatown shop in the back. Yeah. But he was an adult. And both of the one, and both this one and the one later on are young. So.
Yeah, I liked learning how Julie's power actually works. That was cool.
I feel like Julie said in the later one that she knew him from school, because again, the later ones are the most recent reads for me. So.
I haven't read those, so I'll take your word for it.
That's okay. You'll know it when you come across it now, because we've pre-warned you. Look out, UFO will be in it again later on. But yeah, no, I really like learning more about Julie's powers in this one, and I liked seeing how they could be applied in an investigative setting as well.
Right.
Oh, I found it interesting. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I've lost my thoughts, so continue. We're so polite.
Please don't do this.
So accommodating.
No, I found it interesting that that the rude girl was like, I feel her ghost, and Julie was like, there's no such thing as ghosts. And I'm like, wait a second. We have magic. We have mythical creatures. We have gods coming down to Earth. No ghosts.
Correct. Just shades.
No ghosts.
Shades
only shade.
Possibly because everyone that they kill ends up in a permanent kind of death, because it ends very violently. And with no possibility for ghosts.
Yeah, I just found it really interesting that it was just like, look, ghosts aren't real. And I was like, your friend turns into a mongoose, another one turns into a wolf. You literally had the Morrigan like come down from the sky, but there's no ghosts. The girl turned into a tree.
But she was a dryad.
There's no ghosts.
An apple one specifically, not just a general.
Yes, but are the apples from that tree the same as the other magic apples that we have in the series?
They are both Greek.
Not. I feel like not. Because
Probably
the other
not.
apples were very specific.
Yes.
But the real question, what's your favorite kind of apple?
Kala?
It's a good apple.
I don't know. I normally get pink lady apples.
I like
That's
pink
also a good
lady
apple.
too.
I like pink ladies. I think Honeycrisp and Granny Smith.
I like mild and crisp. I don't like any.
I like Granny Smith with caramel is like the greatest dessert.
I literally no. I don't think my kids even know that caramel apples exist, to be perfectly honest with you. I've not eaten a caramel apple or a candy apple since I was like
I now think I have a thing against red apples because Honeycrisps are yellow and Granny Smiths are green.
I was going to say, I don't really know Honeycrisp because I just looked it up. It's not a common variety here in Australia.
Have you had
you can get it.
Graples?
Mm-hmm.
They bred grapes and apples together, so it is an apple that smells straight up like a bushel of grapes. It is so weird.
Have you ever had cotton candy grapes?
I've never had them. I can't find them anywhere.
I haven't seen them basically since the beginning of the pandemic, so I don't know when we're going to get them again. But it legitimately tastes like cotton candy.
That sounds amazing.
The grape is the weirdest thing, and it's so good. And I bought like 3 packs of them and then never saw them again. So thank you, COVID.
They sound very bizarre.
I really want to
taste weird fruits like that all the time. My Walmart will have, they'll only carry like a couple at a time, but they'll have like today I got something honey plums and they're like lighter in color and supposed to be sweeter and stuff. So I get like weird breeds of fruit. The cotton candy grapes.
Yeah. Wow, Grapes were like my jam for about a year when I was like in high school. I would always make my mom get them. They were so good.
That's funny.
To me, it's like, what makes someone think this is a good idea to try and make this?
It's literally, I think a lot of it might happen by accident, actually.
Yeah. I think so too.
But I know the house we lived in before the one my parents are in now, when I was like 8, that house was built by a guy who bred rhododendrons. I don't know if you guys know what that is.
Is that a flower?
Yeah, it's like the big bush ones, like mountain laurels. He would come up with a new variety every single year. He had like all these records and stuff. And so the woods, our yard, but also like the woods behind our house, if you went far enough back in the woods, there was like this huge area of like giant rhododendrons that were all from him. And it's like, why do you spend your life coming up with new varieties? But that's literally what he did. Like he had a greenhouse and that was his specialty. So people just are weird. They have more time. They have more focus than I do. A calling, if you will.
Yeah. And good for them.
Yep.
That's all I can say. Good for them.
We need them because it's not me.
Yep. Nope, it's not me either. All right. Should we talk a little bit about magic gifts?
Yeah.
Unless I don't think there was too much more in magic tests since it was just that sort of investigation.
No.
It was nice that it was just a Kate and Curran story because I feel like we get scenes with them, but we don't get long scenes with them just then.
Right.
They just wanted a nice Korean dinner. That's all they wanted.
Any dinner without the blood.
Yeah. It didn't happen.
It did not. What a terrible mother.
They really just need to go. They just need to go somewhere where no one else is around them.
Yeah, literally thousands of miles away from civilization is their only home for a long time.
One of them needs to, surely in this world there's a way to open up like some sort of teleportation thing. One of them needs to learn that skill so they can just get away from everyone.
Yep.
I was thinking about a spoiler for later in the series. They could have made it work.
Yeah.
No.
Well, because this one introduces, I don't even know how to say it, Drauga? I don't know. That thing in the forest that likes to eat people.
The giant thing?
Yeah.
Yes. Because I'd forgotten that this takes place at the same time as things in Gunmetal Magic is happening and then is revisited. And I'd forgotten that was the order of it. But yeah.
The Vikings are fun to see.
So the Neo Vikings are great. The Neo Vikings are wonderful.
They're the worst.
Yeah, you don't even have to be descended from the Vikings as long as you like to drink.
Yep.
There was that one guy that they're like, he got kicked out of the Vikings for drinking and fighting too much. And they're like...
You got kicked out for drinking and fighting too much.
How can you even hit that limit?
Oh, gosh. And, yeah. I like this short, but I also, at the same time, it's one that I read and I like, and then you forget the details of very quickly.
Yeah. Well, I don't feel like it needs a lot said about it because there's no point in spoiling the plot. And it's enjoyable. It's not their worst and it's not their best novella. It's just a good one.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think the first time I read it, I did read it after I read Gunmetal Magic because I didn't realize it was I looked at this book and went, Jesus, that's thick.
Exactly.
And that's because this much is...
That was me on the Kindle. I was like, oh, there's so many pages.
So many pages.
Oh, wait, no, there's not.
And you can always tell, that I've never actually read the novella in the book because my tabs stop where the novella starts because I've always read it, before I had the book, I read it on my Kindle. And I'm like, there's no point reading it because I've already read the single one.
Yes. It was good.
Well, then should we talk about Gunmetal Magic, which you guys had not read?
Correct.
No. And I was dreading it with my entire being. When I tell you that this is the one book that I was just like, no, I do not want to read this. I do not care. I have no interest. I'm probably going to hate it. It's going to be awful. And I actually loved it. And I was shocked out of my little mind because I kid you not, I have been dreading it. I was just like, oh,
isn't it nice when your expectation is...
It is.
The complete opposite. In a good way.
I don't know. And then their shorter novella before that we read last month, that's been my least favorite. And I was like, oh, confirmation. I'm going to hate it. But no, it was good.
What did you think, Megan?
Can't believe Raphael brought a girl and make her jealous.
She should have beat her to a pulp in front of him and then beat him.
The girl was too dumb to beat up, okay?
So, yeah.
She literally, I do love that she was like, Aunt B's the worst. She was just like, Aunt B's the worst, I hate her. And then Scott was just like, oh no, the sugar.
Okay, sugar.
I was on his team. Raphael was doing nothing. Screw you, man.
Now, because I know there are a couple of people who might be watching who haven't read Gunmetal Magic. It is Andrea's book, and it's how Andrea and Raphael basically get their second chance.
Mm-hmm.
And they have to resolve many, many issues. And Andrea also has to resolve her status with the pack as well.
So it's about Andrea being more comfortable in herself because after getting kicked out of the order, she was super lost for a very long time.
Yeah. But also it didn't make sense that they still hadn't made her come to the pack. I know that there was leniency because of Kate and everything, but ultimately, it still didn't make sense that they gave her that much grace, because
I think it's because
especially with,
she wasn't out. Like only a handful of people actually
Yeah.
knew.
Yeah.
So it was
like it wasn't common knowledge, and she wasn't,
yes,
and she
that's a
also
good point.
wasn't.
I guess, Megan.
She wasn't flouting what she was
Right.
until
Yeah.
she started wandering around Atlanta in her
her beast skin form weirds me out. I cannot. I feel like this is so shallow. I feel like this is part of my issue with her. It's just her beast skin form weirds me out, and I'm just like, I can't root for you. Stop it. So there's that.
It. Yeah. No, I love this book, and I love that we sort of start with her being her and, you know, rescuing her neighbor from giant.
Yeah.
They're not spiders.
Yeah.
They're something else.
He was like, "You're never going to be able to lift me." She was like, she lifted him up so easily.
Yeah, this for sure, because it's like their breakup was not one-sided. Like they both did things.
No.
But
although I stand by, I was more on his side than her side for the initial breakup. And then, of course, all the events in this book, I was like, you are being the worst. So I was more on her side than his side. Because he was just purposely trying to hurt her. And that wasn't what she had done. She wasn't like, no, I'm going to do this just so you feel pain. Like, she was dealing with real life issues, and she was making the best choice she could, even though I personally, disagreed with it and absolutely understood why he would take issue with it, especially because, I mean, obviously they're just characters, but ultimately you don't know the results. So maybe she doesn't help and like half his family is killed. Like, obviously those are literally the stakes that you're playing with. So there's that.
Yeah. But I find it like him coming in with that girlfriend and
the bimbo.
They're engaged to be engaged.
A fact he was not aware of.
A fact he was not aware of. But just that whole scene of that they've written Andrea just sitting behind her desk, just watching it and quietly just becoming more and more furious.
When I tell you, I will cut you off if you try and use another girl to make me jealous. Like, it's not that I won't feel jealous. It's that I will decide that you are not what I want, are not worth my time and effort. Like, no.
I am very good at just entirely pretending people no longer exist and just cutting them entirely out of my life. Like, no more strings, were done by.
Yeah. I am not I feel like desperation really turns me off. I feel like it's obviously very different if you're in like a committed relationship and like you messed up or something like that. But for me, like, I'm never going to be the person begging for somebody's attention, especially not when they don't owe me anything. And it's like, okay, it's just, I don't know. I don't like it. It's just like the fandom things where it's like, no, I don't want to be one of millions of girls screaming your name. I'm not into that. I don't like the idea that you can't go anywhere without women telling you how amazing you are. Like, I just don't like it. So I would have cut him off.
Yeah. I also like how in this one Andrea really takes Ascanio under her wing as well. And they like takes him with her when she can, because I sort of like unpacking both those characters. Because they've, I mean, we unpack Andrea's trauma and her history and her family, which, is horrific and, not nice at all. But he is actually very understanding of that story as well, because, while it may not have been a traumatic sort of backstory for him, he was separated from his family and he was treated very differently, growing up in a cult.
Yeah, I liked how Ascanio like he really did want to like prove himself in this one. Like he was just like, I'm competent, I'm capable, I promise. I'm just young,
like
dumb,
him.
and full of cum. Let me
I feel like he's a
more.
good kid, but he is a kid. So obviously he's not always going to do the responsible, smart, focused thing.
He's never really had boundaries until he arrived in the pack. And he was sent back because, you know, the cult leader realized that suddenly he was going to be massive competition for him. So he was pushed out of a world that he was the only world he knew into a situation where he has to fit in with a certain set of expectations.
Right.
I really like him as a character.
Yeah. He's growing on me.
I like him. I do. I like all the young ones. All the young characters. I feel like there's not any of them that I'm just like, oh, you annoy me.
Yeah. I do like the Volves in this.
Yes.
Roman made for a very entertaining book.
But even Roman flirting with Andrea throughout the whole book, which I love, because she never encouraged it, so it wasn't like she was throwing that in Raphael's face. But Roman just was Roman.
Yeah,
and it was kind of payback for Raphael for all the times he's messed with Kate to try and provoke her. It's like, you don't like it, do you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like that they're going to her house, Roman and Andrea. He's like, do you have a boyfriend? Because Raphael broke in and put like all of his stuff in her house. And she's just like, I'm going to murder this person. He's like, should I go? No. Are you sure? Like, I can like, this was fun and all, but like, I can leave.
You know, for a priest of the is it the Black God or the Dark God or whoever?
Yeah, the Dark God or something.
You know, he's a nice guy.
Mm-hmm. He's lovely.
He's a nice guy.
When he's not channeling death,
like I would be
a wonderful person.
It's like I would be friends with you. You sound like you'd be fun.
I do like that he explained it. He's like, look, I'm just a normal dude, and half my family's the light side and half my family's the dark side, and this is just like, the side I was born on.
Family business. Yeah. Like, this is the job.
Yep. He's like, this is where I was born.
Oh gosh. Oh, hang on. There was something. No, am I going to remember? No, I just love the bickering in this book. I love the banter between all of them, particularly as Raphael and Andrea try and sort out their nonsense.
I liked their breaking and entering scenes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Those entertain me.
Very much entertaining.
The whole snake plot was very interesting, to be honest. I thought it was a good little side mystery that they were working on that whole time.
Yeah. Egyptian gods.
I also liked that it showed how competent Andrea actually is, because we're like when we're in Kate's stories, she's like we're told that she's really competent, that she's highly trained and whatnot, but she this is exactly what she's been trained for, and it's very much more of that has more of that almost that procedural feel to it in the way that she approaches solving this little mystery. And I do like it, you know, after that, you know, the scene where she's attacked in the shop, and you know, she nearly dies, but she, instead of, you know, trying to get help as fast as possible, I'm going to come back to that comment in a minute. You know, she takes photos of evidence. She makes sure that it will get to the right people, and then she calls people, you know, as she's nearly dead. And then my favorite, and then after that, I just love that, you know, Barabbas turns up and is just very much his lawyer self.
Yes.
And he's like, I wish all my clients were like you, the ones who said no comment when people started asking them questions, because then my life would be so much simpler.
Exactly.
I do love that he was just like, bite off head of snake. You were trying to intimidate me. Continue. It's like, yeah.
I kid you not, he's one of my absolute favorite characters in the series. And like, we never get huge long scenes with him, but just the little scenes that we do get, like I would read an entire book.
I really like
about your character.
I agree.
Yeah.
He's great.
And I like that, you know, he does have more of a presence, and in a lot of ways he I mean, he doesn't explicitly call out Raphael, but you can tell that he's just silently judging Raphael in the background for some of the decisions that he's made. I'm like,
yes,
I like you. I really like you.
I like him.
All right.
I like where all we see him go in the future as well. I like him throughout the whole series.
Well, the next book sets up his major story, which is another reason why I really like that book. But yes, I do want to come back to this. So this is Roman, and he's making a scene as they're traveling out to, finally confront the Egyptian god and the snake people. Andrew's like, well, shit. What was he? Was he a ranger? Army ranger?
I think it was a
beret. He was a green beret.
Okay. Green beret.
You're probably
right.
right. You just
I remember because they said he had a tattoo with a beret on it.
You're probably, like, oh, yeah. That's right. Yeah, it was.
Read it 2 hours ago, so we're going to go with your memory.
Yeah, we'll go with you.
I did, in fact, finish it at 6:45. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, you.
Thank you.
What was I going to say? Oh, I love characters like that so much, where like they have the easygoing or the joke or something to deflect, so you don't realize how competent or deadly or whatever it is they are.
Mm-hmm.
I love that. And I love when other characters are like, nice deflection, but I still see what you did there. See how you're putting people at ease without pointing out that you could crush them all.
Yeah.
I always like that.
And actually, the other scene that I really liked is when Pad is coming back to question Andrea at her apartment, and Jim and his entourage turn up first. Mm-hmm. And she's like, what are you all doing here? Like, why? Why are you here? Mm-hmm. And they're there so that when Pad turns up, that she'll have people with her.
Without man.
I'm like, Jim.
And that's like a big deal for her. She's like,
it's huge.
Okay, like I'm not even part of the pack, and you are still treating me like I am. So maybe this isn't a horrible mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And because she's already been told that she's already said, yes, she'll present herself in that 3-day period. And I think for a lot of the book, she's still kind of trying to figure out, is it going to be the best option for her? And this is one of the things that goes, no, actually, it's nice to have people who look out for me.
Right.
So I did like that.
So I think my favorite pack supernatural defense unit is the military one, the military supernatural defense unit, because I feel like in every story, they're the ones that either stay out of the way or do the most help.
Yes.
Whereas Pad is like, I must murder everything. I am the best. And then the order is like, only humans matter.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the guild's just a bunch of mercs, and mercs do whatever mercs want. So they're just chaos.
I like the biohazard unit.
Biohazard unit's cool. Yeah, I like them too.
Yeah, I like them.
Yeah. At least I think they're the only one outside of the Order and the mercs that we actually in later books spend any significant time with. It's Biohazard.
I don't really remember for sure.
Yeah. I think they're the only ones that we do. But I like them.
I just hate Pad. People. I really hate Pad.
They're written in a particular way.
Useless.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Another completely random thing that I loved, Roman's Eeyore pajamas.
Yes, it's Eeyore pajamas.
Because Eeyore has a sober outlook on life. Is it never hurts anyone. I think was his phrase.
You can say like Eeyore's a practical outlook on life or something like that. I was like, Eeyore's the most bad character.
I don't know. It's all the little things about Roman that just makes me laugh.
No, as someone who's constantly described as Tigger, I can't relate to Eeyore.
Fair enough.
The look on Heather's face is like, that sounds right.
Yep.
Oh
Can
gosh.
see it.
All right. I'm just trying to think. I did not take very good notes in this one because once I started reading it, I actually didn't want to stop and take notes. So I'm rapidly flicking through my post notes to see if there's anything that I needed to remember.
Oh,
Go ahead.
Andrea sneaking into Raphael's house and wrapping it
Yes.
in purple shag carpet.
Fluoro purple shag carpet.
Hideous.
Long purple shag. Even the plates. Like she got the plates, she got the walls,
Yeah.
she got the tub.
And I loved that she didn't do like everything, but she knew what cabinet he would open to check, and she was like, okay, this one.
And then
okay.
he did the roof with surveillance.
Yeah. I love them. My notes say Kate Daniels, Magic Slays, Baby Cakes, Julie. So I got nothing.
I do know. To give you. I wrote down one thing I have an issue with in this series is their repeated use of the R word.
Yes.
And I know it's just like it's a times thing, but I'm still just like, oh, I hate that word.
Yeah, I also noticed that it showed up again. I was like, oh, I thought we had moved past this era.
It showed up in Magic Slays, and then I think it also showed up in Gunmetal Magic or Magic Gifts, one of those two. Because I read it again today.
Right. I can't remember which one it is, but yes, same. I remember.
It was Gunmetal because she was just Andrea was describing her father, and it was in Gunmetal.
Yeah. I don't think it was. I think it was some other person because they've used that word to describe her father before, and then they've kind of gone away from it. I think it was like a side character just making a comment or something, or like being like, do they not understand what's going on?
I know in Magic Slays they used it to describe Grendel, and so I was like, because I made that note, and I was like, that's a dog. You could have used like any other word to describe a dog.
Oh, really? I don't remember that. I do remember being annoyed.
I don't remember the like what the phrasing was, but I do remember it was there because I literally immediately opened my notes and was like, used our word to describe Grendel.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
I can't remember.
I don't have anything else highlighted other than she called him her knight in furry armor, or her furry knight, or whatever.
Oh, I did like. Was it? It was the Vikings when they said like your lion can't come in, and then Kern shifts into like a human and he's naked, and the female Viking was like, I now see why you went over to the shapeshifter side.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was pretty
good. Look, I did like the proposal scene where they're basically going, yeah, I'm screwed up, but
yeah,
will you take me? I like that.
Yeah, that was sweet.
Agreed.
Oh, and the running joke in the series around Andrea and her weapons. And I think there's a scene where she's with when Roman and Andrea and Raphael are heading out for the final sequence battle scene thingy, and Andrea's just like petting all of her weapons, and Roman's like, "You have so strange relationship with weapons," and Raphael's like, "You have no idea."
Yep.
I do like that has not changed with her since the first couple books.
Right. I feel like they're pretty good at fleshing out characters, having them grow but not transform.
Yeah. I know. I do like that.
Me too.
All right. Yeah. I don't think I have anything else. I just enjoyed reading this one.
Yeah, I think that's it. I don't know what we're reading next time.
Same.
I did open it up to find it. Yeah, it's okay. Good thing I made a list, guys. We say this every time.
Yep, every single time.
Well, since I know you have a list, I don't even think about it. I'm just like, Stef
Oh,
will
I'm
tell
just
me.
always woefully unprepared as a human.
Yeah. Here you go. Oh, this didn't do it properly. So an ill-advised rescue, which instantly I've also got page numbers here because that's how I tried to keep track of how much I can read. Magic rises, magic steals, and magic breaks.
Cool.
So,
ooh, we have another gym book. Magic Steals is a Dolly book. Because I see a tiger on the cover.
Is the ill-advised rescue in Small Magics, or is it in something else?
I think it might be. Let me check.
Bum, 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 bum. I'm trying to check too, but who knows how long it will take me.
Yeah, I don't see it.
I have a feeling it is in Small Magics.
I just tend to find them online somewhere.
Yeah.
The worst.
Well, not like either on their website or it'll tell me what is that bind up it's in. Like that's how I got the magic tests because I went to Scribd and they had it in. It is part of a series. Here you go. An Apple for the Creature. The main one being a Sookie Stackhouse short, but then it has like all of these other ones from other authors.
Oops. Yeah, I might have trouble.
But hang on.
We'll see.
I don't have my Kindle handy, but let's open it up on my computer.
Handy
I know I've
Google.
read this one. I know I've read this one, and I don't have that collection.
Oh, which one is this one? Magic what?
No, an
ill-advised rescue.
An ill-advised rescue.
Ill-advised rescue.
I actually have a feeling it might even be in one of the books. It's like at the back of one of the books. Anyway,
I think it might be.
Has anybody tried Google?
That's what I'm doing right now.
I did try Google, and it just brought up Goodreads, which doesn't tell me anything.
Even have
Goodreads doesn't say it.
No.
It says short deleted scene in a review.
It's at the back of Book 6, Magic Rises.
You are my favorite.
Cool.
You're welcome.
All right, so Magic, right? But we read it first?
Yes.
Magic Rises.
So, ill-advised rescue is Kate rescuing a kidnapped Simon. Then Magic Rises, which is Europe. Then Magic Steals, which off the top of my head, I can't remember what happens in that one because it's been a while. Oh, sorry, Magic Steals is the novella, so that's the gym one. And then Magic Breaks, which is the one that I can't remember. But I will remember when I start reading it.
I can't tell if they're dating in this.
Magic
Steals. It's like he only has a soft spot for her. But it doesn't say anything about them being together.
Well, they're basically together after the last novella.
I know. That's why I'm like, you better not be backtracking on me. I didn't sign up for that.
Otherwise, Heather will be very, very unhappy.
I will be annoyed. Magic Breaks. Dun, dun, dun.
Magic Breaks.
Okay, and do we not have any current POVs or gym POVs?
I don't think we did.
I don't think the current POVs come in again until Magic shifts, maybe.
Okay, I realize I ask this every live show, but I don't want to skip any. What date is the live?
What date is the live?
Well, that's a good question. Well, this was depending on how busy people were in December.
Right.
So
I would say theoretically it's going to be Friday the 10th.
10th. That's what I was thinking.
Unless one of us ends up having a conflict, in which case it would probably be moved much closer to the date, just to a different night that actually worked, you know.
I think I'm good for the 10th.
Well, if we can tentatively say the 10th, I finish work on the 17th. So after that, have more days and nights that I can actually do lives. So yeah, we'll tentatively say the 10th, and I'll put it in my calendar. And unless something unforeseen happens, then it will be the 10th.
Right.
But I will let people know if it's not. It will come up as a reminder somewhere. Because I know how busy December gets.
And honestly, if it's not if the 10th ends up not being doable, chances are it would just be moved to the 11th, you know?
Yes.
But I don't know about you guys, but people in my life don't tell me at the beginning of November when they're doing things in December. So who knows?
Well, knowing me, I'm going to be refusing to go anywhere except to family. So
that's fair.
Good call, team.
Yay! No. Well, I'm very glad that you two both liked Gunmetal Magic, because I know you were skeptical about it. And I kept going, it's good.
You did. But also, I just was like,
occasionally, I'm
but
right,
you're already on their team, so I don't know.
I'm just on the Alona Andrews team. Look, haven't they got a new book coming out this month? Like, give it to me.
But it's in this Kindred. Is that the right series? Kinsman.
I don't know.
I don't know. I just know that it's not the Hidden Legacy, and I'm real salty.
Right. I haven't read that series, so I don't care about
Megan,
the release.
Have you read the Innkeeper series, Megan?
I have not.
I think you would like that series, Megan. I love that series.
It's their most boring one, but I still like that.
It's their most boring series.
Space vampires.
Space vampires
play a nominal role. Neither one of the main characters is a space vampire. Ignore her.
Oh, didn't you read the last book, the one that swaps?
No, I never did. Not her sister.
Oh,
I will though.
Well, there you get full space vampires. She was married to a space vampire. Right. She starts dating a space vampire.
She's not a main character in the trilogy. The first 3 books. She's not the innkeeper or the random shifter.
I know, but it's still part of the series. Honestly. All right, it's okay. I'll make you read
I just need.
You have to read 4 books
the
to get
Hidden
to
Legacy book. I just need the Hidden Legacy book.
Yes, well, that too.
And it's so far away. So far away. I only read the first 3 because the other 3 are the trilogy for the middle sister, and I'm like, why am I going to read it if the last book in the middle 3 is not out yet?
I mean, I think I will after Kate Daniels, but I've held off.
I'm going to read them with you. Like, I'm just telling you now.
I want to reread them again, so I'm super down.
Yes, I know. We're all planning on it. Are we not all planning on it?
Yeah.
I fully plan. I'm just continuing alone.
Yeah, pretty much.
Live shows for the foreseeable future.
Look, by the time we get through all the Alona Andrews books, we might be going, well, let's just start a reread again.
Right.
I'm like, surely they'll release something by the time we run out.
Yes.
August 2020
this is great news.
Is the tentative release. So hopefully that means it won't get pushed back anymore, because it got pushed back like 2 years. August 2020.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right.
You're so unenthusiastic.
We should probably go. Heather looks like she needs some sleep.
I was up early for like no reason whatsoever. Then I was like, all right, that's fine. That's fine. I'll listen to Red, the like songs I haven't heard before my family wakes up. No, they were all up. I got 2 songs in. They're all up. And then I think it's Shang-Chi got released on Disney Plus today. So we watched that. And then my husband left. And then, which I mean, one should not leave on a Taylor Swift release, because who knows what you'll be coming back to. But and then So he left, and then my daughter, I made macaroni and cheese for supper because it was just me and the kids, and they were all excited about it, right? And she like wouldn't eat, and she said that her stomach hurt, and then she fell asleep on my lap like while I was trying to eat dinner. I was like, all right, well, this isn't good. And then she woke up before the live show, so double not great, but she's good. I have to go check on her though after. But side note, off of Ilona Andrews, Steph, did you start the Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Kate C. Wells yet?
I haven't. I saw it arrived on my Kindle, but I have a book I have to read tonight, and then I'm going to read that one tomorrow.
Boo.
Well, here's the thing: if I get my filming notes sorted for tomorrow, then I might be able to start it today. I don't know, because it's only 2 p.m. here. I can get a lot done in.
That's true.
Between now and the time I go to bed.
I got 32% into it before the live show.
Enjoying it?
Yeah, I've liked it from like the very first page, and I don't like rejected ones, but this is definitely one where he's not like trying to be cruel or anything. He's just like, no, that's not what this is. That's not what this pain sensation around the heart is. I wouldn't know. So I'm not like I'm not super annoyed with him or her. I feel I like even though they're not together right now, I still am kind of liking both of them and just like waiting for the groveling and stuff.
Yeah. I was going to ask what people are planning on reading next. So you're going to read that.
I'm going to take a break from Ilona Andrews. And I have a book due at the library soon, The Whispered Word by Ellery Adams. So I will go back to cozy mysteries while crocheting this thing for my friend.
I'm wondering if I've read an Ellery Adams. I'm wondering if it's
the second book in the Secret Books and Scones Society or something like that. Secret Books and Scones Society, yeah. It's the second book in that series.
Hang on. Now I need to know. I have read that one.
Hey!
Ages ago. Ages ago. Yeah, I am... Oh. Elsie Silver. This is totally random for me. I'm going to be reading Dark Hours by Michael Connolly. So I'm going into a crime book tonight.
I like a good crime novel.
I actually like these ones because it's a crossover between his female detective series and his Harry Bosch series. And I like it because they do a mix of cold cases and current cases. But I haven't read one for a while. But I got sent it. I didn't even ask for it. And I'm like, yeah, I'll read it. Ooh. I like that thing.
So you.
Yeah, I need to finish off the edges of my shawl so that I can pack it up and send it to my friend by Monday. Because Monday's the only day of the week I have off next week. So I work tomorrow from 9 to 5. So excited.
Thrilling.
No. But I think I'm the only person stalking stuff, so I'm just going to start listening to audiobooks.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's the plan.
Yeah. I don't know what my week is going to be like, so I'm just not even thinking about it till I have to. That's my plan.
That works.
Just blissful ignorance until I have to deal with something.
I would be.
Yep.
All right. Well, we might go since I know it's late for you guys, or later.
Well, I ate dinner, so.
Good job. I ate half a plate of cold macaroni and cheese while holding a 3-year-old. So. Nailed it.
Mum life.
Nailed it. Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope everyone has a good night. And we will see you next time.
Yeah.
Happy
have a good night. Have a good day. Have fun
Bye,
reading.
guys.